People who knew Chad Edmondson, a 20-year-old from Altoona, Pennsylvania, say he felt a strong responsibility for protecting others. That's one of the reasons why he joined the National Guard and went to fight in Iraq. On May 27 last year, Edmondson went on a foot patrol in the market area of Abu Ghraib, just outside Baghdad. At 10:17 a.m., an explosion went off, killing Edmondson and injuring 2 other soldiers.
I know it was my priority since that happened to find, apprehend, and put forward for prosecution as killer.
Captain David Welteroth, the military intelligence officer of Edmondson's Stryker Brigade, jumped into action.
I went to all my source handlers, asked them to contact everybody, find out who had conducted this attack. Got back a response in a couple of hours with a suspect.
They have strong reason to believe that Firas Ghiab Mohammed al-Zawbi is their guy.
I sought out sworn statements, followed that up with a warrant, went to the target's house, found him there, arrested him, conducted a search of the house. They found ID making materials, electrical switches, bare wire, pistol, sword. It was all hidden in a false wall in the target's house. Brought back the incriminating evidence.
Under the security agreement between Iraq and the U.S., they must transfer him to their Iraqi counterparts within 24 hours of the arrest.
So we had 24 hours to interrogate. Now he goes to the Iraqi army and they can start their own interrogations. We're going to hand over the witness statements, the warrant, the evidence collected on the scene, and give it all to them so that they can pursue prosecution.
For Welteroth and the Brigade, bringing Edmondson's killer to justice can provide a small piece of closure. But once the suspect enters the Iraqi judicial system, tracking his fate becomes a lot more complicated.
Once they get transferred to higher echelons, I have fears of bribes, of slipping through the cracks because they don't have as good a record-keeping system as us. And it's just something that I can't really control after we hand them off.
Military experts say Iraq's judicial system is improving, but still faces issues with corruption and disorganization. They feel this could threaten the country's stability as the U.S. continues to hand over detainees in accordance with the security agreement.
You need an effective judiciary and correctional system in order for the rule of law to be able to operate. People tend to think you just need police, and you certainly do need police who can go arrest people, but if you don't have a justice system that can prosecute and try them, and a corrections facility to hold them in detention during that trial or after they've been convicted of sentences, the rule of law breaks down.
During the Saddam Hussein era, judges were often controlled by political forces. Now they're having to change their culture through a process of re-education.
You cannot take an entire system or structure from an environment of complete control by the state into a fully democratic situation in just one step. The Constitution is clear in terms of the separation of powers. But it's one thing having that in the Constitution and another actually applying it.
Despite problems, the U.S. military is working with the Iraqi security forces to arrest suspects. Without proper court transcripts and communication between U.S. and Iraqi counterparts, some bad guys will still fall through the cracks.
The agreements we signed between the two governments provide for a coordination mechanism, joint committees that coordinate the application of these agreements. And I see this as a valid issue to be raised within these coordination committees so that the right mechanism is instated to follow up these cases. We certainly don't want any criminals to be free, and neither do the Americans. It's in nobody's interest.
But Welteroth says he's still trying to find out what happened to Edmondson's suspected killer.
I hope to make some contacts over here where I can email on Yahoo and find out what happened to this guy and get some closure on it.